check 1, 2.
Hey, John, check yeah, check email for Zoom link, okay?
Okay, is it a new one?
Uh, well, I just sent it
Yeah.
because I don't think we had one sent from Kimberly, and I know Kimberly's on the Zoom link I just detailed. So
No, I think I did send one out, Byron, but this is okay.
yeah, so if she's on, but okay, John, we'll see you shortly. Thank
Zoom
you.
link.
And let me get Coney because she was having. I went to find your link, Kimberly, and I didn't see it, but that's okay. We're here. So
Oh yeah, no worries. I was
let
just about to say
me.
I'm in your Zoom and you're not here, and I don't know
Yes,
how
yeah,
that's
yes.
possible.
Oh, I don't know either, but we're here. Let me get Connie on because she was having internet issues, but she can call by phone. So let me just make sure she's cool. How was the class? It
Very
was
good.
good. It was good. Excellent. Excellent.
Very good. Wait a minute, I'm trying to give me some back. Trying to connect up my audio and
Mhm.
let's- no, the class was great. I'm
Excellent.
feeling very pumped up and energized right now. It's good
All right.
energy.
Yeah. Okay. This is Connie. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay. You're on the
Hey.
Yeah,
Zoom link.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Great.
I'm on my phone, and I please don't mean any disrespect because I can't stand being on the phone, but I got no internet.
Right.
Like I
Yes.
said, they cut a wire on the street, then they tied it in the woods to hide it. You know, what are these people about? Nice to meet you, Kimberly.
Hi, how
Oh,
you
that's right. This is
doing?
the first time you've
This is the
met
first
her.
Yes.
time.
Can you see
Yes.
me? I can't tell. I no,
I
probably
can't
not.
see you.
All right, let me see if I can get that working.
If not, no
Listen.
wor if not, no worries. You're here in spirit and we can hear
Oh, here
you're
I am.
here.
Here I am. Here
There
I
you are.
am.
Yes, there you are.
Hey,
Yeah. So
nice
this
to
is
meet you. Nice to
Nice
see
Kenny,
to
you.
meet you
I'm not
Connie,
good
too.
at
Kimberly,
I'm not
Kimberly,
good at
Connie.
this.
What's up?
I'm not that good at the phone thing and the video. I'm a Zoom queen for sure. I've been doing Zoom since 2014, but I can't handle the phone thing. It's freaking me out. So
That's
nice to
right. Don't
meet you.
worry.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
gonna go off video.
Yeah, no,
So and then I'll go off speaker whenever we're ready. But just tell me when we're ready. And I'm listening. I'm here, but I'm gonna be off for a minute. Okay. I mean, I'll be
Okay.
off.
awesome.
I can't handle both. All right.
Okay.
See ya. Nice to meet you,
Nice to
Kimberly.
meet you
Look, I'm like
too.
falling off the. I feel like I'm falling off the cliff here.
That
That's
sounds like the title for a great play, Falling Off the Cliff. Huh?
Yeah, that's my daily life. So, but anyhow, yeah, I can't figure out how to find myself in this phone. But phones, they're driving. I've been in video and I've been in technology since like the early 80s. I start working at Carnegie Mellon way back then. And it's just like I can handle all this, but they keep changing it. And I got this new phone. And then, like I was telling Byron, the guys they were roto-rootering my road. I live on a small little road, and they were what do you call grinding down the road, and they cut my cable.
Oh
And so
wow.
instead of reporting it or coming and telling me, they tied it up and hid it in the woods with bungee cords. I'm not
Okay.
kidding you. I'll send you a picture. So the guy comes yesterday and he said, I can't get into those woods. I said, what are you saying? He said, you're going to have buy a pole. You're going to have to get a new pole for like $10,000. I said, get the heck out of here. We are
Wow.
not buying him. We're not buying
wow.
Xfinity a pole. I said my husband, and then my husband's out of town, so I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to do the hotspot stuff. Paulie was telling me
That's
this morning, yesterday, about the hotspot stuff that you can connect, and I'm like, man, this is over my head.
This
So
sounds
anyhow,
like extortion. It's
it
like
does.
cut the
It really
wires and
does.
then you got to pay
Joe said
10,000
you
for
can
a
just
pole.
pull the wire out. He actually, what's that called? Expedite. I can't figure it out.
Expedite.
Expedited it to somebody in Panama, and then they expedited it to somebody else in South America or somewhere. And the next thing you know, they're like coming tomorrow. So who knows? I don't know. All I
Wow.
know is I can't handle the phone and Zoom at the same time. So I'm gonna go off
Okay, John will
speaker
be
and
on shortly.
video.
John will be on shortly. He's on his way in.
Okay.
So
All
we're all
right.
here. Okay.
All right. Cool.
Good.
All right. I'm gonna go
Congratulations.
off
Yeah,
audio video.
congratulations on obviously in social insecurity. Congratulations on your other projects. And I mean, you're a hot topic right now, Connie. So congratulations. It's
Yeah,
And
good.
it's
just
very,
Byron,
very excited to meet you. You've got some good
I'm very
energy.
excited to meet you. You're very
Hmm.
talented.
Oh, thank
But
you.
I'm just old. That's all. It's all like coming down now. I've been doing this 40 years. Something got to give, you got a quarter on every number. So something's got to hit, you know. Anyhow, I will be
Okay.
back. I'll be here, but I mean, I'm
Okay.
going to go off the speaker and stuff because I can't handle this. All right.
No
Okay.
All
problem.
right.
All right. No problem. We're
Yeah.
we're here.
Right.
So
Now I got to
Just
figure out how
while
to
you're
get back
on,
off.
yeah, so while you are on speaker instead of video, we did have a chance, and we're waiting for John just to get started. Uh, the I was telling Kimberly that your play is the short version of a long piece that you've written, a full act play. Uh,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
and so really, because we've all had a chance to read the script, and I was telling Kimberly and John, it's like this is like an episode from the Twilight Zone. And
You know
and
what's funny? They said that. They actually
Mhm.
they said it was well, actually they said old twist on a new carol. The review said it was like but yeah,
Mhm.
go ahead. I'm just trying to get out of here, man. I don't know what the heck's going on.
Well, they're still here, so we got you. Don't worry. But in essence, my question is he in purgatory, or is he dead, or is he alive? And hello,
I
John.
think it's a
And
Hey,
dream.
it's
it
I
was a
think it's
still
a
a dream.
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 It's a dream. Okay. Because I mean, for the way the 16 pages roll in and roll out, for me, I was thinking of directing, the directions to take as a director is that the spirit guide that uh, the waitress represents is either taking him to his final destination, or in his dreamscape, he is being shown what would have happened had he been in the room where it was that was dynamited or exploded, and he's in that in between space where he's either walking towards reality or he's still in his dreamscape. So, and then of course, how to portray that. And if you're trying to make this as a pitch to submit to other festivals, and obviously we're hitting on something that with this technology that we just completed for social insecurity, is how do we prep and position a piece like this to be considered either for the festival or or taking it to the next
Byron,
level.
I'll be right back. Okay, can you hold on?
Sure, sure.
And
Hey,
always, hey,
John.
John.
Hey, I had the other link. Glad you called, Byron. So
Yes, it's okay. We got you now. Too
Yeah,
late.
we all said, yeah, I ended up walking in on the Zoom and I was the only one here. And I was like, how did this happen?
yeah,
We've been
How
we've
am
been
I the
Zoom.
host of your Zoom meeting?
yeah.
Well,
There you go.
as Aretha Franklin would say, who zoom in who?
Zoom in.
Yeah, how was she ahead of her time with that?
I know, really, it's like
100%. So, well,
so,
it's so nice. This is our first time we've gathered since Social Insecurity, isn't it? And congratulations, boys.
yes, yes, thank you very much. it's nice to be up on the board somewhere in the ether zone of life.
Yeah.
But John, I was just telling Byron and Garland the other day, or yesterday, because I thought about it. Right now, plays that we workshopped are either up on our channel, there's two of them, Yazoo, Mississippi and Sister Suffrages, or they're about to go on stage. That would be Yazoo, Mississippi. And we did a play called The Shadows of Love and Light, or they're up in digital streaming, which is Social Insecurity. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
And of course, John has been walking the
Happy
red
about that.
carpet for the last week and a half, and
And our actors are all busy.
yeah, so I think we're doing okay, you know. So yeah, John, I mean, you got your
Congratulations.
and you had a news item on local network TV down there
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
your
About your premiere?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of like and oh, and by the way, you saw that I commented on your one line audition. Oh, there you
Is that
go.
much
See?
ado?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
Awesome.
doesn't
yeah,
read so well, but
yeah. We
I could.
got you. You look good.
Did you have a
Yeah,
good run?
oh yeah, it was great. Hotter than Blazes outdoor theater on Long Island.
yeah, yeah. Totally.
Was
I'm
the
sure.
good crowds?
Yeah, we had about 250 people. There's Baracho being brought off to prison in ropes.
Is that your character?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
it was great
Right.
fun. We had tremendous Beatrice. She was so good, and in fact, all the young leads were Benedict, Beatrice, Claudio, and Hero were just the glue that we just circled around them. But I've seen this show many times, and if those four aren't spot on, you just lose interest in the whole play. So
Right. Right.
we were
Mm-hmm.
very fortunate.
Well,
Awesome.
we had Connie on the phone. Is she
Looks like
you
she's
still
dropped off.
she dropped off? Yeah, she was there. Someone had cut her cable network where she's living, John.
Oh no.
She's
They need you out there.
Yeah, right.
they say accidentally, right? I mean, was that
Right.
that was the gist? Yeah. And then so
It's,
she had to use her phone to log in and
yeah, so let me get her back on the line here so she knows she's no longer with us. She's probably sitting there holding the phone, thinking, where are we?
right. But John, just to let you know, as far as what I was particularly interested in this meeting was just finding out more about what Coni's idea and vision for this piece is. I know we only have 15 pages. Does she want a stage a reading? Does she just want a recording? What is she interested
Yeah,
in
Connie, Byron,
specific?
we lost you. So try to link back into the Zoom. Okay, thank you. Yeah, she's probably sitting there thinking that she's still on because her
Hmm.
phone, she's on her phone on the Zoom. So John, what are your thoughts? As we wait for Connie's return, what
Well,
give me your
I like
impression.
the piece. I think it's
Mhm.
worthy. It has the recurring theme of dream sequence, and I love the how and why factor. Being a verb or a person or persona, if you will. And I think we can play on that really well as an actor. I know I can. Um, um, what I think with the small pagination that we're looking at, and I think Byron concurs, we're just trying to get a small sizzle reel on film so that we can see perhaps how the coffee house looks, um, and some of the dream sequences. Really, Byron had a conversation this morning, I guess it was. Is it a dream? How much is it a dream? Is it a flashback? Is it real time? These are things that I think Coni needs to define so that we can know how to make the look and touch and feel of this small piece unconfusing to the viewer.
Hmm.
Because the more that we can have them on the page with us, I think the more empathy the actors can get from the listener and viewer. as to whose side they're on, or who they're rooting for, because everybody loves to root for somebody in these instances, and we want them to root for the right people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No,
Better outcome that way.
those are good points, salient points.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And once we get Coney back on, I did text her to let her know she's not on with us. Once we get her back on, to determine how far does she want to take this? Is it just for the festival input, or is she prepping it for further pitching prospects?
Well,
You know,
she came to me, I guess, I don't know, it was early in July.
mhm.
It was right after we filmed Social Insecurity. So, and right before I went to New York. We actually read the piece on a Sunday morning on a Zoom. She read The Waitress, and she read The Professor, and I read The Why.
Yeah,
And
Coney, we lost you on the Zoom link. Can you come back on?
I'm trying to come back on. I
Okay.
don't know what's going on, but I'm trying to come back on. And I had a big upset with my daughter coming in to drop something off, and she's dropping off her dog and what. So it was and I apologize.
It's okay.
So I'm coming back in,
Okay,
okay?
we're
right.
awaiting your arrival. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Please
Bye.
apologize for me.
No problem. All right. She's coming back on. But go ahead, John. You were
No
saying.
worries.
and so we read it through, and
Uh-huh.
it was on the behest of one potential investor that wanted to do this as a short film.
I could
And
see that.
that person wanted to rewrite the script, and it upset Coni a little bit, I think. And then we had the conversation that we would love to get this as a film or a short, either way, because shorts are very popular now on social media, and they're being monetized, and they're being commercialized. So there's clickbait, and there's all kind of revenue. I don't know what kind of revenue or what volume of revenue, because I'm not into that marketplace, but I hear it's out there. And as um, a producing entity like Zoom Catchers, we may be able to throw that in your retinue and have another product that is available for SVOD. And so I think that's her impetus, is to try to see if the script, which is a good script, and it's a Twilight Zone, is what Byron called it. It's right in that genre. We need Rod Serling. Maybe we can get Matt to do the intro.
Yes, of course. It would be great, since he's playing the other role.
Oh,
That
here
would
she
be
comes.
yeah.
There she is.
So Coney, welcome back to the gang
Hello.
of four.
Yeah.
Yes.
No
I'm
worries.
telling you, I am burned out. But anyhow, I'm here. And
Okay.
thank you
Awesome.
very much for your
Thank you.
patience, and excuse my interruption. My daughter came in yelling. She's 36 years old. It doesn't stop, man, and
Kids, what's the matter with kids today?
yeah, keep going on that. So I'll write the revival of it, and I'll tell you. She's
There's definitely a
wonderful. She's
song
a
or two
wonderful
about
kid,
this.
but I was trying to tell her, don't come at 4 o'clock. She's dropping off her dog. She doesn't hear me. I won't come then. It's like, Jesus,
Well, Kimberly's recording it, and you can listen back to all of our stellar thoughts.
Yes.
Okay,
Byron's
great.
recording it.
Okay.
Yes. So
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Mhm.
It is, as like Byron said, a full length script, but somebody was interested in it, and they asked me to cut it down to 15 minutes for the festivals. Well, I did. And then his ideas don't jibe with mine at all. He had some ideas to totally change things. What it's about is a guy. Now, I wrote this before I was even a college professor, but it's about a college professor who screwed up and screwed with one of his students while his wife was pregnant. And she ended up having a miscarriage and dying. And he still has a daughter somewhere, but he's really disgruntled. He's constantly upset about life and mean to people. You ever meet somebody like that? They're just all the time, right?
Quick
Do you
question
hear
for you,
me?
Connie. Quick question.
Yes.
So,
It's you can say Connie. It's like
Connie,
Connie.
sorry,
I was named after Connie
Connie.
Francis. I was
I've heard
named after
both.
Connie Francis. Anyhow, so go
No,
ahead.
my
What
no,
your
my question
question?
is, you said, yeah, the question is, someone got pregnant. Was it the student got pregnant and died, or the wife?
The wife was, and the student said she was too, but he kicked her out of the office. And,
Okay.
he's like, just don't ruin my life. I'm up for tenure, blah, blah, blah. And so, he had all this guilt. He had all this guilt. Turns out it didn't even matter, but his wife ended up dying. So he carries a lot of guilt. And it had nothing to do with him. She didn't even know. The wife didn't even know that he was having an affair. It wasn't even an affair. It was like a one-shot deal. He screwed up. And other than that, he was a nice guy. But from that moment on, he turned miserable. He just got miserable with his life. He was like constantly saying, people would say, good morning. Yeah, what's good about it? He was a mean bastard. And so one night he's sitting in that coffee house and in comes Mr. Wyman. Mr. Wyman is the why man. Okay. He can only answer the question why. Howie is how he's going to do things, how things happen, which is very similar to us. Our dream persona or our dream catcher or whatever you want to call it are the reason we dream, I believe, is because we want to analyze things and we want to know why things happen and how things happen. Only we can answer the how. The dream persona gives us the why. So it's a lot of deep psychological stuff going on there, metaphysical stuff. But in the same time, the storyline is just basically the professor is very disgruntled and he treats everybody like shit, including the waitress. But then the dream weaver comes to him, the person that writes his dreams. And I kind of believe in that there's somebody writing dreams for us and like our dreams are in a different realm altogether than we're in. So the dream weaver comes to him and says, let me show you what your life's about there, Howie. You can't keep treating people like this because you never know who's who. And so he goes into takes him into this dream world where he meets Destiny, his own Destiny, who is really the woman, the Earth Mother, whatever you want to call it. And she says to him, you better straighten up there, pal. Wake up, smell the roses. And she mistreats him a little bit, but at the same time, she's there to warn him. You know how we have warning dreams. And he wakes up from the dream and he wants more answers, but the answers aren't there for him yet. He has to do certain things before he can get answers. One of them is to treat people accordingly, with kindness. And he ends up going back really shaken. It is kind of like a Christmas carol, metaphysical Christmas carol. I said the review called it Old Twist on a New Carol. It got incredibly good reviews and people loved it. The actors loved it. The people that first did it loved it. We did it again that was back in 1997 it was done. The first time it was done, it was at the Museum of Sound Recording in Brooklyn. That was a branch off of the sound department at NYU, and people loved it. There were a lot of people there, and it was a production of it there, and it went over really well. Then in 2017, I did it at the Secret Theater at the Unfringe Festival in Long Island. Yeah, I think it's Long Island. Not Long Island. Anyhow, Richard Mazda's theater, the Secret Theater. It's I can't think of where that is right now. But anyhow, I digress. So people loved it again there. And the thing is that it's very powerful because I think there's some truth in it. And I'll tell you how it came about. I was talking about physics and metaphysics to an actor one night. I woke up, I didn't get home till really late, like 4 in the morning, and I woke up at 6:10 and Mr. Wyman was in my head. And by 10:30, the play was there. For the most part, I've changed it here and there, but for the most part, the play was written. And I called my friend that I was talking to that night, Brian, and I said, "Hey, Brian, do you want to read this?" I used to have a reading series in Pittsburgh called Sunday Night Live. I said, "Do you want to read this play with me? I wrote this play about what we were talking about." He goes, "Connie, it's like 10:30. Well, did you sleep at all?" I said, "No, not really. Wyman woke me up at 6." And you know, so it has its own feet. This play wants a life really bad. So when I wrote it for this other fella that wanted to take it in a totally different direction, he wanted to make it like fortune telling, and he wanted to make it like projections and all that. And I just said, I'm gonna wait. And then he asked me about different things about it, and it was like he didn't get it. So I'm pretty simplistic with metaphysics. I really believe that something runs the universe, and I think we need to back off and take our part, do our role, whatever we need to do. You know, I don't mock any religion. I don't mock anybody's philosophy. I simply say what I think and what is, in my opinion. And that's how my plays come out. But you know that. So the thing is, my phone's beeping at me. Anyhow, where was I?
Well, Connie, while you're trying to catch that thought there, what do you want to do with this in this particular moment? How far do you want to take it, and
Well,
what do you want to do?
I think we should prep it for a short play. I mean, for a
Okay,
short film festival,
okay.
the best we can.
Mhm.
I don't know. Are there festivals that we could put it in for Zoom, like not like Rogue Festival, but um, we submitted a few things before. Oh, John, weren't you involved with me with that? With
We-
Carrie?
We did Simon Says together.
Simon Says, yeah,
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. I remember that.
yeah.
that
Yeah,
that
that
wa-
was a
that was
that
for
was
the
2020. That was like 5 years ago, huh?
yeah, that was the Playbill Festival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was our first gig together, darling.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Holy crap. Anyhow, uh
There are
I can't
festivals.
get anything going. I'd like to be here in person. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
No, that's okay. We hear you very loud and clear, and your thoughts are very loud and clear as well. The notion of there are festivals that do take this kind of submission, but the one of the things that John and I are have been in conversation is the preparation for the pitch of something like this. What your scripts afforded us to do with social insecurity was to take it literally from a concept of just doing a Zoom reading, because you remember we had a Zoom rehearsal before Zoom catchers and Kimberly got involved, and
Right.
we were pitching the idea then, well, where do we really want to see this? Because it could fit almost any platform. It could be on live stage. It could be in a studio with an audience. It can be done for a film project just for TV. Because there's so many opportunities right now where this kind of a pitch is more acceptable than the usual traditional route of taking it to a publicist or a literary manager and have them read it. And of course, it sits in their basket for forever because they're backlogs. But we did something to the extraordinary of taking the concept and the idea and then submitting it for the Rogue Festival and got submitted. And I gotta tell you, I think we're really on to something, Connie. John and I had this conversation just 2 days ago that once Hamilton comes back out again, it's about to change the whole dynamics of how we do live performances. And because the COVID and the fires in LA and the box office reports that are currently driving our industry have been so weak that they're all looking for a new concept. And it's interesting because Studio A24 is kind of shaking the boat up. They're like understanding this is the method that we are now stepping into. And they are, when they purchased Cherry Lane Theater, that told me a lot. I was like, wait a minute, why would a movie company purchase a small, mid-sized 250 seat house and then a 60 seater to do theater? And that's like, I had that aha moment because they realized that streaming theater productions gets a wider audience and can make more money without overspending budgets for theater, which have a tendency, as you know, to go to Broadway or off Broadway or even off Broadway in New York City alone can be economically prohibitive. And so now we're at this point. You are a very noted writer. You have a lot of people who recognize your work, and I think given the other entrance to the Rogue Theater Festival, I don't know how many other projects you've seen, Coney, but even our poster is different than everybody else. And I've seen some of their trailer pieces that they've been posting up on the site. And yesterday I did something that I over the weekend I just looked at our piece again, not to hear the dialogue, but just to look at how the pictures. And I was like, wow, this is very
Yeah,
pretty. This is
yeah,
a beautiful presentation.
yeah,
And that's what catches people eye on the screen now. It
yep.
what does it look like? Even the
It's a
story, yeah.
new art form.
It really truly is. And so that's why I want to know in what direction do you see this going so that we can formulate an idea, a concept, a budget, because at the point at which it is involving technology. And one of the things that the Rogue Festival is really giving us an opportunity to comprehend is that maybe there are festivals that will allow us to share in the box office receipts as well. So I
Yeah, there
mean,
are a lot of festivals out there that have prizes, you
yeah.
know, what I mean, and that, and I think I could be wrong, but I think that we could probably get a grant for this.
Well,
Yes, you can, but the grants for things like this that would have to go through a not-for-profit entity. There are for-profit festivals, and
Okay.
there are funds that can be given. You pay a fee to get in the festival, and then you hope to get into the competition to the finalists to win the
Mhm.
prize. But once again, do we want to spin our wheels in that kind of a search and find concept?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or
I don't know.
yeah, or do we really want to go to the market where the Netflixes and the Hulus and everybody's trying to figure out their live streaming, what's the next piece to get up and get the magic rolling? And I think because of your style and your notoriety, uh, you have a fan base, even if they don't want to claim to be your fan base, but they're watching you. They're
Well, let me tell you
paying
this. Here's
attention.
what I think, Byron and Kimberly. Feel free to ask me questions because I think John and Byron and I have had these conversations. Byron and I have been having these conversations since 2018. But I think we're in a whole new world. And that world is the transformation of the human spirit. And the human spirit, way back during the Greeks' days, theater is about the transformation, the transmutation, well, not transmutation, transubstantiation of the human being, which means we go further into our evolution, and our evolution becomes spiritual. Now, here's what I think's happening. I think with the idea of taking metaphysical text and metaphysical work, work that talks about other worlds. You know, it's not just a good story. It's got some teaching there. Okay, like wise up, buddy, because you're not the only kid in the sandbox. You can't throw sand on everybody and expect to have a good time. Okay, that's our earth right now as we speak. There's a lot of people that think they can just be mean and be bastards and do whatever they want. And that's not the case in the big picture. That's not what we're supposed to be doing here. And we know this because it doesn't feel right, right? Anybody there?
Oh yeah, we're
Oh, yeah,
listening.
we're listening.
Okay.
We're here.
So I think when you combine that with technology, I think you end up, technology doesn't have an ego. We run the risk, and I'm not saying anything against live theater, but I think we're in the mode where it's no longer realism, it's no longer naturalism, it's not expressionism, it's not surrealism, it's called actualism. Taking the actual energy of life beyond the human
Mhm.
into the next level where the playing field is equal for all people because technology steps in.
Well, I see you're right in that
Very
aspect
interesting.
because
Yeah.
one of the things that we are recognizing, especially as artists ourselves, writers, directors, producers, visual, technological. I mean, Zoom Catchers is really allowing us to dream a little bit more in 3 dimension versus 1 or 2 dimension. Is that a lot of people are in a virtual reality idea,
Mhm.
and they're not sure whether it's real or they're in, it's like either you want to go to Disneyland or do you want to be in the real world? Because so many people want to be in Disneyland and they really are rejecting the real world at this moment because it's very painful. It's a very painful place to be right now. And
Mhm.
and yet it's almost like the real world is manipulating the arts for their own pleasures and desires. We
Mhm.
just, as artists, on the metaphysical conversation that we're having, we imitate life. Okay.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And so, but life right now is like the pits for a lot of people. Okay. So they'd rather be in Disney World. They'd rather be in a PlayStation. They'd rather go to uh, back in the 20s when the Depression was hitting our country. The atmospheric theaters were built for the specific purpose of taking people out of the real world to give them an idea of being in a comfort zone that wasn't depression. And you could go
Absolutely.
to see a movie for 25 cents and you could sit in an air conditioned room and people would just go there for an entire day, just not so they would have to be in the real world. So
Absolutely.
now we're in that same kind of concept, but it's television, it's a film, it's a PlayStation, it's a concept that is rejecting reality so that we can come back to this place where we think the pleasure zone is more acceptable to us than reality. So
Well, I think it's, go ahead,
yeah,
Byron.
no,
Sorry.
that's it. That's it. I was
I think it's even more than that. I think it's our spiritual evolution. And I
mhm,
think art is all realized thought. ART, all realized thought. And realization means that you can understand the collective. And the
mhm,
collective is all people, all of us put together. We're all here doing something somewhere, somehow. And when we look at the big picture of all of us, then we don't screw with people and we're not mean and we're not catty and we're not unkind because all that causes disease and discomfort. I mean, look at the Mother Earth like pouring rain on us like crazy. You know
right.
what I mean? And there's flooding all over the place. It's like, wash up, kids. That's what she's saying. Get a bath, you know?
Mhm.
Your
And I
ideas and your
think,
Yeah.
body is filthy. Okay.
what's that?
I
Mhm.
said your ideas and your body are filthy. So take a
Exactly.
bath.
Clean
Exactly.
bath. Mhm.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is this is the time. This is the new age. This is
Mhm,
the dawning of the age of Aquarius, where peace will rule the planet. We're right now, we're in the Kali Yuga. we're in the end time.
Yeah.
All the major religions have claimed this. Kali Yuga is simply Hindi.
Right.
Um, but you know, when they call it the end times or whatever, but we're in a transition where it's like you just sit there and say, do you believe this is happening? Do you believe this person can do that? No, you can't, because it's almost comical. And we also know that the negativity is comical when it gets that bad. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh my God, that's really bad acting. That's, you know, and I think that we have to
for
be
sure,
able to
yeah.
accept the fact that our form is changing.
Mhm.
I wrote my thesis on understanding the stages of creative form. It's called formative stages, and that we can conform, reform, deform, but when we perform, we perfect the form, and then the form and us become one. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Without
Yeah,
a
no,
doubt.
I mean, pretty much everything you're saying is very
Yeah.
interesting. And you know, I think in particular with this piece that, you know, I read the piece as well, really, really liked it. And I do have questions about the piece, but first I want to make sure I get out what I want to say right now. You know, for me, when I was working on social insecurity, I was really trying to find this place of it's not on the stage, it's not a film, like that spot in between, like mixing, and they, you know, they're using the word digital, right? And so
Mhm.
digital, what does that really mean? And I think that's a question that we're all going to be creating. What does it really mean? And now you have this play, Coffeehouse Magic, which has these ethereal themes as well. Is it a dream? Is it hell? Is it a warning? And how do you visually present that? You know, it could be a staged reading. It could be on the stage. It could be a film too. It could be an
Yeah.
episodic type thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
present
yeah. I
that?
like that
You
idea.
know,
My,
and then
my
so,
friend John Mello said that
hmm
that
and
it
so
could
how
be
do
like a series.
Yeah, and on top of that, like you were saying, you're interested in educating too and getting people to think about these other ideas that you had. So it's also an educational opportunity, right? And then
Well, that's
visually
the
speaking,
Greeks.
how do you present that, right? And make it be, it could be any of those things, and a
Well, I
producer can
think
pick
you
it up.
already did it, Kimberly. I think you already reached that. I remember the first time I watched the show, my husband, who you can't get him to well, he sits still. I mean, he flies airplanes and he actually, you know, works on glass plants. This week he's opening a glass plant in Meadville. He's still working, and he has a very strong what do you call attention. But at the same, and he's a musician as well. But at the same time, he gets bored easily at bad art. He's a trumpet player. I think all trumpet players do this. But like it's like if you hit a wrong note, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He if it goes up, whatever you did, Kimberly, got my attention. And I'm one of those people that fall asleep at my
Awesome.
own work. You know what I mean? I sit there and say, oh God, do I have to go? You know what I mean? Because I just get freaked out. I get freaked out. I'm like not there anymore. I've been there, done that, and that's wrong because we need to be present in a theater production or a, you know, the Greeks say that we're meant to do this because the purpose of theater is to entertain, to educate, and to exalt the human spirit. What the hell does that mean? The exalt the human spirit. Well, with the virtual world, the digital world, you are creating a world, an imaginary land. With writing, you're creating an imaginary land. I used to teach college composition and lit and theater, and I would say the kids' first day would be writing papers, and some kids are really embarrassed about their writing. I mean, it's a really personal thing. And I would say, how many people have a word processor that they use? And you know, everybody'd raise their hand. I said, how many people brought them with them? And they would, a couple people would raise their hand. I said, everybody raise your hands. Your first word processor is your mind. That's where everything comes from, your brain, your mind. And once you realize that, then you realize that you hold the power to transform, to entertain, to educate, and exalt the spirit. And the wild part about that was part of my theory that I was talking about the formative stages is that it comes down to a three level process. First, you have an idea. You have to recognize that this idea is a split from your audience, from somebody else. Your idea is different. It's a split. You have to energize that idea and spin it, put a spin on it, and send it to the other person. And then you have to wait for them to spiral back their response. Split, spin, spiral. Okay. So when you do this, and when you do it with technology, I think that there's an inherent level that goes up higher than what we're used to. Because right now, people are having trouble with concentration, with all the crap that's happening around us. And I call it the imaginary crap because that's all it is bad theater. When you can't concentrate, people can't focus on a show. So you have to find a new means to get your message out there, or not just your message, to let them evolve, to let them grow and learn and have a feeling of unity amongst the world and the people in it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah.
100%. No, and thank
and
you
you
so
know
much for
that-
sharing that.
That's a constant, Connie, because when you read, if you go into the book, the Bible, and the all of the spiritual books out there, and I'll use Christ using the parable, he could come and talk to a crowd and would be too intellectual. And then he realized he couldn't talk to the crowd as if he was talking to the rabbis and the scribes. So he had to break it down into the least common denominator, which was to make it simple. And by making it simple, he was able to reach the masses. And it's somewhat of the same concept, which you're just explaining right now, because the complexity of our life right now is wrapped up in so many concepts of isms that we've lost the basic principle of truth. And it's finding the line back to truth. That's all we're trying to get to. And yes, when it's made simple and put into the hands of a child who only understands the colors of a crayon and the paper that he's supposed to color within the lines, is to bring it to life so that it's not just black and white. It is living.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what I was saying as I was looking at social insecurity this week, and I didn't want to hear the lines anymore. I just wanted to see the pictures. I just want to see, is it pretty? And I was like, wow, look at the pretty beauty of
Oh,
this,
I agree.
you
I
know?
agree.
And
Thank you.
that captures my attention, and I think that captures the attention of an audience that, yes, is 7 seconds in delay. Or maybe, as John told me this one, was it 6 or 9, John? How many seconds is the mind capable of staying focused?
5, was it?
The
You
average
know, it's funny.
viewing time of one of the clip that I did with the Broadway sign is
Yeah.
only 9 seconds.
9 seconds. So
Yeah.
you can
Oh, and that's
imagine.
powerful as heck.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So
all because
I can't
Harvey
tell
is
you
so
how many
pretty,
people said to me, "Who is that guy?" They were like enthralled with you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, Harvey is so pretty. I mean, it's what it is. Call it out there.
But you know, I mean, my comment to that, Byron, about the short attention span is because I
Yeah.
understand. I taught, kids in public
Mhm.
school for a couple of years. I get it. We want to create visuals for that, for a low attention span person. But the other part of me just says, should we continue on that trend though? Just produce the content you want to produce,
Exactly.
if you and make it
Yeah.
be as beautiful as possible. Otherwise, we're kind of feeding into this narrative. Well, people can't pay attention. We have to squeeze
Right.
it all into 4 seconds.
Well,
It's like, really?
yeah, I agree. No, I
I
agree
mean,
with you.
Well,
because we're
that's why
kind of
that.
chasing trends, which I personally don't
Yeah.
really care to do.
Me neither. But
No,
that's why I
but
like that's why I like with the piece that you've written here, with Coffeehouse Magic. I was like, wow, this doesn't have to be a speed read. This is a
well,
moment
yeah.
of just
No, you're
let it.
absolutely right. And okay, there's something that happens in Coffeehouse Magic. If you notice at the very beginning, the Y man, He does something with language, and I have no idea how that came out. I'm not going to claim to say, well, I tried to write a person that was like this. I don't write like that. It all
Mhm.
comes out in different ways, shapes, and
Right.
forms at different times of the day and the night. And
Right.
I don't have any control over these plays. I mean, when I sit down with a group and direct, yeah, I can tell you more about it. But I used to get really irritated in college because, especially dramatic lit, people would say, "Well, is it about the playwright, or is it about what's the playwright trying to say, or is it about the reception of what the actor, the audience gets out of it?" I said it's everything in between. And I'll give you an example though. What I think, what you asked me before, Kimberly, is how do we do that? Well, let me go to one of the masters of rhetoric, one of the masters who can actually use words and simply speak the words to the point where we are transformed. I can't remember the exact speech. I think it's Letter from Birmingham Jail, when Martin Luther King says about the little girl who wasn't allowed in the amusement park, and he uses the line, "and tears welled up in her little mental sky." And when you sit there, he doesn't say she started to cry. He didn't say, he says her little mental sky. And so what do you
Yeah.
think about? You think about the sky. What is the sky? The sky is the thing that covers all of us, the whole world. He doesn't go into a thing about who you're, who you are, where you are, what you're doing. Everybody's equal. He doesn't say any of that. But when he says her little mental sky, you sit there and say, wow, wow. And it's a thinking, feeling thing. It's the
Yes.
mastery of rhetoric to the point where you don't have to even respond. You get a feeling, you get the picture.
Right.
So I think
Right.
what Byron's saying about these pictures, yeah, we do need to make pictures. And I think, it's interesting we're talking about this because my play that's in this other competition, I met with, they hired, the theater has a very small black box in the village. And they said they hired a projection designer to be able to put visuals into the scripts. And we have like 7 short plays in a 2-hour evening. And so they wanted to use the projectionist to actually open it up a little bit. And the girl asked me, again, I have the dream theme in there, and I have an actor that goes for an audition, but it's very unusual audition. The name of the play is The Unusual Chauncey Faust. And when he goes in there, time is distorted. And right away, the girl said to me about dripping clocks, the Salvador Dali persistence.
Right. Right.
So I think, could we do this with art involved? You know what I mean? Like pictures, thinking of the literal pictures and then thinking of the pictures that are artistic, or not even, what's the word? Not artistic, but the impressionistic pictures of
Right.
what's really going on. You know what I
Right.
mean? I think you're onto something. I do. And I think, like I said, I think the show I don't know, Byron, what do you think? We should do a 15-minute film and send it out to these festivals, or what?
Well, which is the reason why we wanted to have this conversation, is to
Right.
explore what
What could be done?
opportunities and what should be, could be, and what can we accomplish relative to the story itself, the idea that it is in a altruistic type of space and time, and then yes, because we're talking about really avant-garde or impressionistic kind of creativity, and then where does it start and does it end with respect to reality? Are we in the real world? Are we in this other time and other dimensional space? Because with that in mind, the person who is either watching this in the experiential moment that they're receiving it is both physical, mental, and emotional. And how do they blend together so that when they come to the end, do they want to see more? Are they resolved? Is in their mind an appreciation of what they just experienced? Does it leave them feeling good about what they've seen? I mean, because now we're talking about more than just a visual sit down and smell the crowd, smell the grease paint, the roar of the crowd, all that kind of stuff. No, this is we're in your mind now. We're in your mind space. And how does that play out? Which is why I think programs like what's his face is those TV programs that dealt with this kind of one step beyond, the
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
Twilight
John
Zone.
Mello
Yep.
has told me repeatedly I should do this.
Yeah.
But let me say one thing. One other thing that happened when I did it in 97,
Mm-hmm.
there were a group of visually impaired blind actors that worked at the theater where I first presented this in Pittsburgh at the acting company.
Mm-hmm.
And they absolutely loved the play so much. They said, this is exactly how we dream. I don't know what this means, but they had me do the play on the radio for radio information service for the visually impaired. I had to go
Mhm.
record it at their studios so that people could share that. They were so taken with the piece. And that, I don't know what that says to me, but I mean, if you have any ideas, if any of you have, why would visually impaired or most of these people were totally blind, why would they be intrigued with this play? And they were theater goers. It's not like they were like, oh, wow, a play. You know what I mean? They were like, some of them were actors even, you know what I mean? But why would they be enthralled with this particular piece?
In a concept that allows them to see what's in their own mind with their eyes open and closed because they cannot see the dimension that we're working in. They're operating in a whole nother dimension: sound, touch, smell, everything. Even for a deaf mute or a person who's visually impaired, their senses have to be heightened to another place that we who consider ourselves to be using all of our senses are really only using 10%, 15% of all of that. They go to another whole level that we can't even imagine, and they
Yeah, I
see it.
can.
They see it in a different experiential moment, and using the word seeing it. But yes, it's and in that they're able to share back with us who are not using all of our senses to the level that they're using theirs, gives us another dimensional field for us to work within. And it's like what they would be seeing within their own space,
Yeah.
because the pressure of the room itself is a character. It is a design. It is inside of them that we don't even know. We feel it, we experience it, but we don't acknowledge it. Yeah,
Well,
John.
the reason my mother had macular degeneration and she
All right.
went blind in the last 5 years of her life. She was a golfer, and I had to line up her putts, and she still could feel and see, even though she couldn't see where the cup was. And she would make putts, and it was like insane. But it's your imagery, it's what you create in this piece, and your work, frankly, is clear, distinct imagery and people and places. And these people have lost their sense of sight, and they insert here on each one of these qualities their own backdrop, their own color palette, their own personality reel of everybody they've met over their entire existence, and you give them that roadmap.
Right. Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm willing, and I talked to Byron and John about this before, but Kimberly, I'm willing to open this up right now. The play is, as a stage play, is published by Next Stage Press. So that's set. Um, It's still under contract. It'll be under contract. I don't know how many years. I'd have to look it up. But I talked to Gene about that. He said, if you do this as a film or any kind of other thing, you're on your own. You don't have to answer to me about it.
Why don't we
I'm
use the
willing.
word digital, just digital, a digital presentation?
That's fine. That's fine. What I want to do is to be able to create something with you guys. And if you would like, we can make it a consortium where we actually all own a quarter of this. And then we would continue. I mean, I would still remain the author, but in terms of the business collaboration, I think that everybody puts a lot of work and a lot of time and you should own it. You know, I've been carrying the damn piece since 1997, 96 it actually started. And so, you know, it was first done in 97 in New York. But I mean, it's like, you know, this play wants out. These guys want out. You know, there's three main people in this. And you know, it's hard. I mean, it's hard for me to keep carrying them. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times I hear Wyman's voice, how many times I hear, and when I met John, I knew he was the Wyman. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
mean, just the way you play with levels, John. You know what I mean? I could hear him in you. And I've heard Wyman in my own head, and I've heard him on the stage a million times, you know? But
How
I
many
don't know.
characters are in the full piece?
Well, there's the two ancillary characters called Director X and Director Y. And
Okay.
in the full piece, when when they first show up backstage, they're like the two projectionists. Director X and Director Y, they're the cosmic coordinates of reality, and
Okay.
they're always at odds. One guy
Right.
wants to go this way, the other guy wants to go that way. So
Mhm.
they're almost like comic characters. And it's funny you mentioned that because my two friends are so five altogether, but those are ancillary
Mhm.
characters, and I don't even know if we want to keep them in there. Oh, maybe we do. I don't know.
Well, what reason
Yeah.
why I asked the question was primarily because the focus and direction of if indeed we just do 15-minute snippets. You see, John was mentioned something earlier, this new genre of creating these little pieces that are almost episodic, and they then somewhere down the way, especially when you go to the market to pitch it, uh, that you're not giving the entire piece away because it can actually be changing uh, as it starts to evolve. And yes, even with the main piece that you have written for stage, probably it's since it hasn't been done in quite some time as a writer, I'm sure you would find it probably to your advantage to tweak it somewhat. But in this manner, because you're just only giving us 15 minutes of a full piece or envisioned piece, that let's just say in four parts, you could give us uh, an hour's worth of story in
Yeah.
four parts.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
I can see that.
and then, that would be a great way to kind of test out this theory of how do you take a full piece like this and turn it into an episodic
Yeah, yeah,
presentation? Like, how would
right,
that look?
right, definitely.
And
I,
Especially,
I,
it leaves a hook in there for the next episode. And you
right,
could tantalizingly do that, Connie. I know you can.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
question, kind of just about the rest of the play, just curiously. Um, the bombing, that whole incident that is apparently taking place, or the dream, does that have something to do with the character, or is that just a random act of whatever, or an accident or something? I'm just curious.
That actually happens in his real life.
Hmm.
Wow.
And it could be a blow up in his life, like what that he finally gets it, and he doesn't even need to go back to being a professor. You know, it's so funny. People have said to me, you really have the professor thing down pat. And I wrote this in 96, and I didn't start teaching till 2002. I didn't get I got my master's much later, and but understanding that, it kind of like his whole life blows up on him. But it literally happens. It happens in real life, because she picks up the paper and he looked, she says, "Oh my God, this could have been you." I don't remember how much I put in the 15-minute one, but I'll send you the full lengther, um, Kimberly. And I think, Byron, I think you had it, but we were going to do it one time with this other woman. Remember the reading we were going to do with somebody?
Yeah, well, I was looked back through my Connie file, and I didn't see the
I'll send you
Coffeehouse
the full
Magic.
length.
Yeah,
I'll
because I
send you
got
the full
yeah,
list. Now I know
sure,
John
sure,
has it.
Yeah,
yeah,
I got it.
Now
yeah.
that,
Okay. You know what,
yeah,
John? Can you do me a favor? Can you send what I sent you to Kimberly and Byron, so you have the same one?
I'm
I
on it,
can't
boss.
tell you.
Okay.
I'm on it, boss. I can do that.
no,
Okay,
I
thank
was,
you.
yeah, I
I
was
don't
just,
have internet, like I said.
Yeah, no problem. We'll
I can
take a
fix
look at
that too
that.
if I were there. Somebody cut your cable?
Yeah, yes,
I
he's the
thought
cable
you didn't hear
man.
the story.
no, he
No,
wasn't
he
here for
did.
that
He
part.
wasn't
We
here for
told him.
that.
We told him when you were
I don't
off.
want to bear you. I don't want to
Yeah.
bear everybody with that story again.
But see, John, Connie, John is the IT man, and this is what he does. He lays fiber optics, and
Oh.
he is
So
the
he
cable
literally could
guy.
fix it.
He really could fix it.
You know what I'd like to eventually do with this, if we could do projection mapping
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
inside
wow.
Howard's head.
Wow.
I
He
don't
does.
know. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to tell you guys honestly. I have an occasional thought, but in terms of being a visual artist, I'm piss poor. And I say that honestly. My sister was an artist. She actually went to Carnegie Mellon too, John.
Oh, okay.
She was a visual artist, and she was a painter, and I met a BFA painter, and she was very, very talented. But I'm not the visual in the family. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about words and ideas and thoughts and feelings and vibrations. But when it comes to pictures, I don't see it. So when I saw what you did with the Zoom catchers version of that, I was enthralled. You know, and I've done a lot
Awesome.
of Zoom. Byron knows this, but I don't see past the words. I really can't see. I don't see. It's like I'm John. You're right. You said it's like I'm blind. Like I write as a blind person because I don't really see. You know.
Awesome. Well, this
Well,
would be a great opportunity to explore
yeah.
the dreamscape, visually what that would look like. So, no, I
And
think
it's
these are all good
neatly
ideas.
folded. It's neatly folded in its own. There are 4 segments of it, in the
Mhm.
bigger picture, in the John, in the full length.
Mhm.
I think there's sections of it that could definitely be episodic. We don't have to stick to this 15-minute thing that I like scrolled out for this guy, because I think it might be better to have it in its segments, because you have um actually I made it at one point at midnight to 3 a.m., 3 a.m. to 6
Oh,
a.m.,
okay.
6 a.m. to 12 noon. So there's like
Wow.
4 different segments of it, how your life can change in a matter of hours, and the whole thing is time isn't real, really, with these times. How does his life really get managed? And then there's the
Right.
flashback to it too. I don't know,
Wow.
man. I'm telling you honestly. I'm not that good at the visuals, at picturing things.
Right. Right.
And that's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
We're not asking you to do that.
No.
I asked one time, I have this on video too, and this is so embarrassing. I have a play called Trial Proof, and it was so hot in the theater. It was about 100 degrees. We were in the city theater annex box, and it was July, and it was 100 degrees, and the actors wanted to leave. I wanted to leave. I was dripping sweat, and somebody started asking me about, how do you see the set? And I wanted to say I don't, but I didn't want to be sarcastic to them. But I said, it's very real, unreal. I was constantly what do you call contradicting myself, and so
Yes.
I don't really see things.
Okay.
No problem. No problem.
I
All
like to
right.
draw. I do like to draw. I do draw, but that's a whole different world for me.
Your granddaughter's artistic. I have
Oh
a
yeah,
piece
yeah, yeah. She's great.
yeah, she
Took
really
after my
is.
aunt, their
Yes.
aunt.
Okay, so
But I,
that gives us an idea
mhm.
on how to take a look at a couple of projected ideas of how it can go, where it should
Hey,
go.
cool,
And
Mhm.
yeah, and there are
cool.
festivals, obviously. That's the easy part, looking up what festivals that are out there. But once again, for us, I think where our mindset is right now, Connie, with me, John, and Kimberly, and Zoom catchers, is from the page to the stage to the market. Where's the
Yeah.
market, and where can we position our kind of artistic vision in the market for producing and for sustainability to the story? And I think there is a space for what you're doing. We're proving that actually. The Gene Frankel's piece that you have, congratulations there. Simon Says, that was another piece for Playbill,
I think that
Socialism.
needs a revision too.
Yeah,
I think that needs a look back because I think you guys did a really good job with that.
yeah,
But I want to say one thing about this whole process. I think that you said this early on, Byron. I think
hmm
we're onto something. And I think it's very important thing that we're onto because they say right now there are going to be more cell phones and computers in the world than there are people. And it's not, it's not AI takeover crap.
No, no,
I don't believe that. I don't listen to that because I know that mankind is here on the planet and we're not going to destroy ourselves because God wouldn't allow that. It's his world. It's a big world. I don't mean his. I don't mean to sound uh singular in my thoughts, but the point is that I think that something has to bring us out of this. And
yeah,
that something has to be accessible to all people. And that's
right.
why I think the whole idea of a digital reality is very important. I like Kimberly's using that word digital because
hmm
what does that mean to us? You know what I mean?
right,
Mhm.
right.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
and we're digital actors in this world, and so we're just bits and bytes.
there you go.
Yep.
There you
Coming
go. That's
together on a screen, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
And
spoken well from the IT guy.
I like the visuals of like Escher and some of these artists, and the dripping clock or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
vanishing point. We could have him fall in and explain why he's falling in, and all kind of fun stuff with this. There's some rich characters that you've created here, Connie.
I don't remember if was he John speaking on the bigger piece. There's at one point he opens the door and there's nothing out there.
Right.
Is
oh
that in the
yeah.
short piece?
I
No,
don't believe so. No.
they're
Yeah,
about
no.
there.
See,
Where you leave us in the short piece is that she's escorting him to his next level.
yes, exactly. Exactly.
That
Leveling up, huh?
yeah, yeah, right. Wherever
Yeah,
that may be,
exactly.
right?
I just searched this computer and it's not on the mainframe, it's on the laptop. So I'll send the full length version, Kimberly,
Okay.
and what's your name? Byron? Byron, yeah.
That other guy, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and why don't we, after we take a look at it, reconvene, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
this
sure.
will give us time to
Sure.
think about
I like the
Absolutely.
four
some
parts,
intriguing.
incorporating the elements that we spoke
Mhm.
about.
Yeah.
And I think we should definitely film the first piece on a Zoom and let Kimberly do her magic and see what it looks like and shop it from there.
Okay. That's something to
Awesome.
consider. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All
Great.
right.
Great.
Kimberly, do you act?
I play one on the internet. No, I don't.
Okay.
Well,
All
I
right.
mean, what do
Because
you
you
mean
got
by
a
Kimber,
great
act?
look. I just
yeah.
realized that
Thanks.
when you'd be a great You could be the waitress, you could be the goddess. My friend Lonnie is really, really good. And she can actually, if we need well, you have a friend that does music too. But Lonnie can record and do things too. But she teaches full time still, and she's our age and plus. So I don't think she'll have full time for it. But I would like somebody like Lonnie's persona. And
Okay.
I can't remember if you guys ever saw, you know what, in Chauncey Faust that was done in the,
I remember Chauncey's Files.
okay, do you remember Chauncey Faust that we did on Zoom?
Yes.
Or not on Zoom, that we did for the Rogue Festival a couple years
No.
ago?
No, I don't remember that one. No.
All right, let me send that to you guys.
Okay.
Actually, if you look it up, it's on, I can't believe I'm paralyzed with this internet. With if you look up the unusual Chauncey Faust with the Rogue Festival, it was 3 years ago that we did it.
Okay. Okay.
So you can find it on there, and fast forward to the middle of this play and you'll see what Lonnie, if I can find it in my email, I'll see if my friend Bogdan can find that.
Okay.
But yeah. So
Question for you, Connie. Question for
yes.
you.
Yes.
The waitress, is she from Queens or Brooklyn?
Or the Bronx.
Or the Bronx. Which borough is she from? Because that Goyle, when she says Goyle, I'm like, okay, she's not from Manhattan. She's
Yeah, what was your
Yes,
vision for
she's
that?
I'm thinking Brooklyn, the Bronx.
Okay.
The Bronx.
We got you.
She was actually modeled after a friend of mine in New York, but okay, so Sandra Bargman played her
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I remember Sandra, yeah.
in the 2017 production. Do
Okay.
you remember Sandra?
I'm checking with Jamie Lee Curtis to see if she's available.
There you go. There you go.
Or what's
Everything
the
all at once.
or Rosie Perez, right?
There you go.
I don't know. But I was thinking of Paulie for Paul Eisman for the Howard one, because he can move in that direction.
Now you had Matt. Have you had thought of Matt for any of this?
I think he could do he could do X and Y if we incorporate X and Y, if you decide to do that. So I don't know. But
Well,
he
it's
definitely
just right. It's just looking at the potential for folks we've already worked with who are
the
willing to
15-minute piece.
Yeah, to step out on the limb there and say, would you could see we got John, and you had mentioned the other day when I talked to you, Connie, a couple of names, Matt and Patricia. So
Patricia, yeah. I mean, I think I think Matt could do, but see, Matt, I think, would be the Wyman character.
He would be
but
more
I
Wyman,
think
right.
John is the better option for that.
Okay. All right. I know this guy, John. He's really good. So
don't tell him though, because he'll get a big head.
Yeah, don't tell him that.
We don't want to feed an actor's ego.
No,
I'm kidding you, John. You'll be wonderful.
I just have to fit y'all into my business schedule.
There you go. No, anyhow,
all right.
Yeah, I think maybe just do the people that we worked with before. Maybe do Paul and John, George, and Ringo.
Yeah, there you go. We got I'll be the fifth Beatle.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll figure out the cast.
We'll figure it out.
Paul, right? I think that it is very good to have John or Matt doing the narrator again. I really like that narrator thing.
It came off well.
Like that. Some people look at Zoom like it's an auxiliary, or like it's like it's not a real medium, but I think it's a real medium. I mean, I think it's all the time. I started doing online theater like this because I didn't want to play. I was doing development. A woman was recording, Rachel Love. She was recording an interview that I was on back in 2014. And she said, in the chat, she just said to me, Connie, I really like your work and what you do. I want to help you. How can I help you? And I said, wow, if you want to record for me, I'd like to create a virtual theater space that we could do developmental stuff. And that's when I started doing airplay.
Right.
And I'm still doing it actually. We haven't really stopped. We're on hiatus, but the thing is that when she actually was in a car accident and she got hit by a tractor trailer on a
Tractor
motorcycle.
trailer, right? I remember.
Remember
Yeah.
that? And then
Yeah.
we weren't doing it. And then I can't tell you the amount of people that called me, texted me, sent me messages. Hey, when COVID hit, we need to work. Actors,
Right.
we need to work. We need to talk to each other. We need to do something. Can you help me? And you're still doing airplay. And I said, I guess, let me ask Rachel if she's ready. So I'm used to the medium, but I don't have the talent that you have to come out of it to do whatever you're doing. I don't even know what that's called. You know what I mean? Same with like I said, with rhetoric. How do you know what that means? You know what I mean? Like I taught even kids that, effective rhetoric is the effective use of language. Like
Yeah.
I said, like MLK or the Greeks, they had it. Shh, be quiet. Be quiet. This is you're a guest in my house, please. But hey,
Yeah, it's
but
exciting.
yeah,
All
it's
right.
very exciting.
Alrighty.
So, all
Well,
righty,
good.
kiddos.
But we'll talk. Thanks so much
Thank
for your
you. I'll
time.
send
Nice
the, I'll
talking to you.
send, yeah, I'll send the
Mhm.
copy to everybody. All
And
right.
look for
Thank you,
your
John.
full length in your inbox, guys, and we'll make
Yes.
the hit. This is
Yes,
our
sir.
next hit.
All righty.
100%. Awesome.
All right. Love
Thank
you
you so
guys.
much. Have a great
Love you
Sunday.
guys.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, it was
Bye-bye.
good talk. Thank you.
Thanks,
Mhm.
Connie. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. We'll talk. I'll send everybody what we got. And thank you, John. Thank you. It's always good to see
I think
you.
we could have
We-
coalesced that a little quicker, but
But yeah, we got there.
we got there. It's all good.
Yeah.
And thanks.
Yeah. All
Bye-bye.
right. We'll talk. Peace out.
See ya.